Hi everyone, Ray from loveyourrv.com here once again, enjoying another sunny winter day here in California. I'm back today to let you know how it went with my new NOCO battery booster box, the GB150. I've put it through a bunch of tests, so I'll get to showing you that. First, I'd just like to remind you how the inputs and outputs worked. On the box, you've got an output for USB and 12 volt. So the USB will work, things like cell phones, charge up your cell phone or your camera, tablets, things like that. And then the other one you plug in, and that'll run anything that can be run off of a standard power socket, 12 volt power socket. As far as charging goes, I've tested this a few times from I wore the box right flat and tried it with our typical outlet here in the RV that plugs in the 12 volt socket, and for me I was finding anywhere from 5 to 6 hours it took to fully charge it back up from dead or once it's down to pretty well flat at 25% lights on. They kind of state that it's a 3-hour charge time, but I never experienced that. And my voltage was about 13.6 to 13.8 volts when I was doing that during the day. So that's not a big problem. I can plug it in, and within 5 or 6 hours I have a full pack again. So let's go through, and I'll go through a variety of tests with my big diesel truck. I'll show you it starting that, and I'll go around the RV and show you why I want the box and things I used it around the RV. And then I'll come back and give you my final pros and cons and final comments. So let's go start that big blue truck. The first test I'm going to do is see if this GB150 can start my big Ford diesel engine. This is a 7.3 liter IDI diesel. It's a 1994 vintage. Takes a lot of juice to turn it over. I've got 2 big batteries, one on each side. So I've disconnected both batteries. I'm going to hook up the NOCO booster to it, see if it can turn it over. It's about 50 degrees out today. Wasn't that cold last night, maybe got down to about 40 degrees. Truck hasn't been started this morning at all. It's dead cold, so it's going to have the glow plugs turn on. It's got a good set. All glow plugs work really well, so they draw a lot of energy. So I'll be interested if this is going to be able to turn it over. So we'll see. Let me hook it up here. Well, looks like no problem. Well, I'll get the battery back hooked up, so I just want to show you another cool feature of this little box. It's basically dummy proof. Okay, I'm going to hook these cables up backwards. Another thing is you don't see any sparks at all. It's all smart programmed inside, so you can see this little thing here goes, a red light goes on here on the caution sight. That means you got it hooked up wrong. So let's take that off and we'll hook her up right. Okay, and when I turn her on here, lights flash. And you also see, I don't know if you can read that, it says 12.9 volts there. So it's even got a little built-in voltmeter as well. That's pretty cool. So the NOCO GB150 passed the test, flying colors, starting up my big diesel engine. I have seen online there's a lot of guys doing tests in extreme cold weather where the NOCOs are falling down and not being able to start things, like we're talking minus 10, minus 20 degrees. Being that I'm a full-time RVer, I'm not going to be in any of those type of conditions, so I think this is going to work out good for me. This was a good test. Also, I started it with no batteries in place, so a lot of times when you're jump starting something, you're going to have a little bit of juice left in your batteries to help out as well. So it's doing what main reason I want it for, to be able to jump a big diesel. So let's go on to some other things I'm going to use it for around the RV. A very common usage is going to be tire inflation. I always like to make sure my trailer tires are nicely inflated before we depart. So it's going to be good for that. Of course I could plug it into the truck, but I have to move the truck close enough to get the lighter socket. So this makes it really easy. I can move it around anywhere I like. Also, to keep the tires on my foldable bicycle here all pumped up. And one more thing that we have to inflate around the RV, let me show you that. My airbag on my trail air hitch here needs to be adjusted every once in a while. Handy for that. So yeah, the box just makes it super handy because it's so lightweight and portable to move it around. Another way I use the battery booster is when I'm out boondocking and I want to put more water into my fresh water tank. I have a gravity feed tank. What I'll do is I'll use this old RV pump that I have, and it runs on 12 volts, and I have it all set up to plug into a power socket, 12-volt power socket, so that way I can easily add jugs of water to my fresh water tank, or if a buddy has a big tank on his truck, I can pump it in. So let's just show you how that works. I take a second to prime here. There we go. So one thing I've been really curious about is whether in a pinch this box could power my RV 12 volt circuits. So I've hooked it up to the 12 volt. You can see down there, that's the 12 volts going into the rig, and that's my main ground bus bar, so that's on the ground part. So what I'm going to do is I'll turn off the power to the RV circuits. There we go, we're off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to override the safety on here. So you want to make sure that that's all connected, not going to short out, because you're overriding the short circuit protection. Oh, first got to turn it on. There we go, and override. Okay, so there we go, it's showing we're putting out 12 volts. So let's try the jacks here, see if it can handle the load of the jacks. That's one thing I'd like to be able to do, is get it back on the truck if for some reason my batteries are totally crap. It's unlikely to happen, but hey, we're experimenting, right? Try retract. Okay, not a problem at all. Okay, let's go in and check out the slide, see if she'll draw the slide room in. I'll just leave it hooked up here. Oh yeah. That looks like that'll work. I don't want to draw it in. I don't want to go through the pain of moving everything around, but definitely no problem. That looks like it'll do the trick. Now we'll just do the awning. Seems a little slower than normal, but she's doing it. Okay, well that proves that in a pinch it could draw your slide in and your jacks and your awning, do that sort of thing. So let's see how much energy we've used out of this thing so far. Okay, she's still showing 100%. See what kind of battery readout we have. We're still at 12 volts, so jumping the old truck there and playing around with it a bit. I haven't really drawn it down with those heavy loads, but I'm going to do a test. Let me go and plug it back in. I'll charge it right back up to 100% full again, and then I'm going to do a test and see how long it'll run a constant load. I got that old water pump. I'll hook it on there, check how much current the water pump draws, and then we'll just let her run, see how many hours it'll run it. I'm going to do a little test here and see how long the box can run this old water pump. So I got her set up here just to check the current. Turn the box on. Water pump's running. We'll just check the current. And it seems right around 2 amps. As it goes, it may fall a bit. So we'll call it between 1.5 amps and 2 amps draw. So I'm just going to let it run and see how long it'll run before it wears down. Okay, passing a bit of time washing the old truck. If you hear something that sounds like bacon frying in the background, that's that fountain. All the videos I've been doing here include it. Sorry about that. Let's go check on the progress. So I'm at the 3-hour mark now, and we're looking 75% light still on, and we're still pumping away. So I did a quick current measurement here, and it's down to 1 amp now. So as the voltage drifts down, the current output's drifting down. So I'm probably going to call it overall. It started at 2, I'm down to 1. I'm probably going to be about 1.5 amps, but so far 3 hours still going. I'll check back when she dies. Okay, I'm back and we're down to 25%. Still chugging along. We've been going for 6 hours 44 minutes. I'm still chugging along at about 1 amp. So I'd say the first 2 hours I was getting anywhere from 2 amps to 1.5 amps, but the last 5-6 hours I've been getting 1 amp. So we're pretty close to the 8 amp hour life of the battery. Let's just check the voltage here, what it's down to. So we're down to 10.7 volts. So okay. Well, it's a good test anyway. Looks like it can do its 8 amp hours of life. Well, I hope you found all those tests useful. Let me now go through my pros and cons. We'll start with the pros. There's quite a few of them that I like about this unit. First, the small size and weight for a battery box compared to my old lead acid one. It's quite well constructed, the casing and everything. I took it apart and the electronics looks well put together. It also is water resistant. I think it's fine to have it in the rain, but you can't submerge it. I think they call it IP65, water resistant. When you hook up the leads, it has the safety that there's no sparks, and you can hook them up backwards like I tested. I really like these clamps. You can see, zoom in here, see there, that gives you a really good biting surface on what you're hooking up to, which is important when you're drawing a lot of current on a big diesel. Let's see what else. Oh, I like the flashlight feature. Super bright. You got your strobe, SOS, all that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. Nice to have a light handy, really powerful light. I like the voltmeter. When you hook it up to something, you get a voltage measurement. I like that you can disable the spark and reverse protection, and so you can hook it straight up to things and you're going to have power. And it also shows the voltage in the battery. So that's all good. What else do we got here? As far as hookups, it's nice and simple. These 12-volt sockets are really smart, the way one wire and two little sockets takes care of all your accessories like that. USB, I didn't try the USB charging. I imagine from the notes it takes a couple days even to charge from a USB outlet. What else do we got here? That's pretty well all the pros there. The biggest pro of all, of course, is it started my big diesel Ford, which is what I wanted it for. So let's go through some of the cons. I'll start with the tiny little manual. I hate when companies give me a chintzy little manual like this with small writing, and I got like 50 languages in there, so it's not really as much information as you think. I would have liked a little more detailed specs on, you know, the cranking amps that it actually can put out. They give this kind of marketing hype 4,000 amp figure here, and this joules figure, which doesn't make much sense. I'd like a little clearer language there, maybe a little more in-depth specs. Also, I've watched a few videos on the NOCO boxes, and they seem to have trouble when it's really cold out. Not going to be a problem for me, but if you search around YouTube for cold starts, there's a few that show that the NOCO products have fallen down and not been able to start. Some of the trucks in extremely, like we're talking -10, -20, although I did see their own video where they put the truck in a cold room and then brought it in and started it. So I can't say, I can't test it. I'm nowhere near anywhere cold where I'm going to be able to test it like that. Let's see, and of course the price. I paid $2.99 for the box, so that's going to be a showstopper for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people just go for roadside assistance or something like that, but we like to go boondocking quite far off grid, and it's just and we like to explore with our truck down back roads and stuff, so always kind of peace of mind having something that could jump start the truck in case somehow I left lights on or something and ran the battery down. Also, kind of like to be a good RVing neighbor and be able to help people out. So this thing would even boost a fairly large diesel engine. So hopefully I'll get a chance to help my fellow RVer out someday. Thanks for watching. This is Ray from loveyourrv.com. If you ever need a boost and I'm in the area, I'm your guy. Until next time, take it easy. Cheers.